Hello everyone. So this is the weekly reading for the treasonous monster. The guy that lives there. I had to get some chains to put on that thing, right? Or a big piece of duct tape. Anyway, I want to know what will happen to Treason Man this week, going from January 11th to the 18th, 2026, of course. And I'm using this mat here that has all the houses of each one of the major arcana, because each one of the majors are gateways. So we'll see how he's moving through life this next week, and most of all, what will happen to him? What will he be experiencing? Which, of course, will cover his health as well. Okay, so here he is as the Fool. The Fool. Emperor has no clothes. Wow. So a major in a major house. Here's another major in a major house. Here's another major in a major. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now that's interesting. So here we have the Emperor card, and in the Emperor house we have the Eight of Cups. I allowed for reversals, as you can see. Wow. Yeah. No bueno with money coming for, obviously this has to do with no deals, no money, no charity, no reciprocation, no donations, no, we don't want anything to do with you when it comes to the oil companies working with him in Venezuela. I think that what ExxonMobil dude called it, and I don't think it's what's his face, Rex Tillerson anymore, but they said it was uninvestable. I didn't even know that was a word. Okay, that's interesting there. All right, let me just get the cards laid out and then we'll talk you through it. Wow. So the Fool in the House of Hermit. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Oh, off with this. Wait, can I do like, how about we just go like that? There you go. Wait, he doesn't have that much hair. Okay. There we go. I just read those two cards. A Hanged Man. So he's kind of, I don't know if you'd want to call it secluded, but he keeps surrendering to Mickey D's there. And we all know, he's like a few fries short of a Happy Meal. So we'll see how that works for him. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Whoa, his grave illness is causing him to go insane. He's in, whoa, right here. We've got insanity and paranoia here in the House of Star. So Star would be his nervous system, can't handle it. And here are all of his grave illnesses. He has more than one. But most of all, could be drug interactions with the Temperance reverse there. And we have, wow. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man reversed, which, I've always seen him like drowning in his own poison, but that's what this card is all about. Could it be this week, please? Could. Judgment in the World. Oh, yeah, he's disappointed. Okay. He's disappointed and sad with all the rejection and the grief that the world is giving him. So I'm going to go with the Four Corners. So he's got his hand out to more juice, more anything. Oh, can I have any pleasure from from the devil. Well, the devil will have his due. The devil will make an ass out of him. He's gaslighting. Trump is gaslighting us and projecting all his self-hatred out onto us. And so now we are going to probably see the devil gaslighting him. So, but this is his health is so bad that it's affecting his public persona, and it's all of his emotional just that's always coming out, right? And then with the magician up here, the way his brain is working is this is just him trying to use the DOJ, what do we call it, BOJ nowadays with Bondi, right? And he literally has our, all branches of government on their heads, all three branches on their heads. But when we have, so the magician will just go with the blanket of like the way his brain's working, what he's concentrating on, where he could have some action like what he's doing, but also what's being done to him based on what other people are, the way they're communicating, the way they're standing up for themselves. And we all know that he's just a pathological liar. But his neurological problems in this house are also, he's also having trouble with his kidneys, with the Justice card reversed, his kidneys. But it's all of his lies and his dishonesty and, lack of accountability. And then over here in the House of Chariot, so the Chariot is about moving forward. It would also be the movement, I have to read this politically, as in the movement of ICE. Okay? Now, there were changes made to ICE recruitment, which has to do with student loan. They're enticing them with student loan repayment and forgiveness, things like that. Their training has been cut down to 13 weeks and 6 weeks for some recruits. Like if you were, maybe if you come in as an officer, as a cop. And then $50,000 signing bonuses and waiving some of the age limits. So it doesn't cut off at like 40 or 45 or whatever. You can be older and you don't have to be like, 20. I don't know what the minimum was. But yeah, so I heard that on the news this morning. So the ICE is not going to... all the women standing up, especially for what happened with Renee Nicole. My God. Renee Nicole Good. And the other couple in Portland, they're all trying to spin it that they were part of the, what is it, Tren de Agua or whatever gang. I'm not buying it. My bullshit meter kept going off. What I got was that, I didn't do cards or anything on it, but I just got in my head right away. It's like, nah, they came here to get away from that gang. And they didn't still have ties. But, they have these ICE bastards have quotas, Gloria Canales, my channeling wise sister friend, that was the first thing she said. They have quotas. I'm like, whoa, that's right. They have quotas. Well, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, this has ICE in the place of not being able to balance their responsibility. Because, when she's upright, she's someone who's responsible for the welfare of others, and they're, good businesswomen and moms and all of that. Well, when this card's reversed, we are seeing ICE just take down women like this. And with Trump, this very well could possibly be, because I have to look at the pentacles, as women, earth sign women in his life. So we're talking Melania. His mom is long gone. She was also a Taurus like Melania. That's interesting, right? And but also people that work for him. We're talking, well, of course he worked tightly with Ghislaine Maxwell way back in the day. But there might be something like that that's coming out this week. She's got all kinds of goods, but she has to be careful, because he could just take her out, and she knows it. But maybe she could escape too. Somebody else could go get her. Not that I want to see anything like that. But anyway, Susie Wiles, right? She's a Taurus. Caroline Leavitt, I think this could be her just lying her head off for him. But what's happening to him, that's the focus of the reading. What's happening to him is the fact that Caroline Leavitt can lie. She can, kiss her ass, kiss his ass, get her rectal plasma all over her nose, just like Pam Bondi's been doing, Remember that South Park episode? Anyway. But this could also be Susie Wiles saying something that, because, and maybe this is behind the scenes. Maybe this is Susie Wiles telling him, you can't keep doing this, right? It's possible, because she does have his ear. I don't ever see little Caroline Leavitt standing up for herself, or standing up at all. I think she's probably as dark as he is. But what he will experience, what will come to fruition, come full circle with the world, is just, again, his feeling very, the world sees him as having his hand out and his heart connected with the devil. And the world sees him here he is trying to, what's he doing? He thinks he's going to go into NATO. Well, yeah, we have military there, but I can't, I would never want to see anything like that happening. He has, and these two cards tie together here, and the judgment reversed over here. This all ties together with the the federal judge who blocked him from freezing food, money, childcare money, especially in Minnesota, but I think it was also in other states. And then this is also the oil companies that just aren't interested. The oil companies the world over are not interested in helping him with Venezuela at all. And it won't happen until the 20th, but this would be the week for the build-up and getting the word out for the Free America walkout protest that is scheduled for the 20th. So there's that. But yeah, with this Five of Cups down here, I kind of look at this last, corner as the answer card for to really hone in on something for the reading. And with the Five of Cups, this is his disappointment. He's sad. He didn't get what he wanted, and he is feeling lonely. I don't really know that he's, capable of feeling what he needs to feel in his own heart, which is, of course, why he has his heart problems. But yeah, so now let's go from the center out, and I'll do some knighting, but you can always mirror the cards together. And those of you who have taken my lessons or taking them now, feel free to comment, or even if you haven't taken my lessons in the memberships, feel free to comment and tell me what you guys get. So what I'm seeing here, starting from the center out, is justice is going to blow him up. Justice is going to, so there's going to be upper and lower court judges, and maybe even some federal judges, like the one that said you can't can't keep the money away from women and children. Yeah, can't just cut off people's food stamps, food, whatever. EBT payments, I think it's called. Yeah. Anyway, so with the tower, of course, besides something blowing up, this could be, I mean, justice served would be a lightning strike to his head, that's for sure. Right? This is our card for disasters and breakdowns and big change, and he's shocked, right? And the experience will usually, if a person, is wise, they will wake up to, breaking free of some false beliefs. But with him, he's so dumb. He's just so dumb. He's not even ignorant, because ignorance just means you don't know something. He's just stupid. So stupid, because he thinks that, money is the end all to whatever, he who dies with the most toys wins. No, that doesn't work that way. So anyhow, also with the combo between justice and, to focus in a little bit more on the Tower card, this could be like religious, extreme religious, people moving away from him, just because of the fact that he has no charity within, with the Lover's card. So this card in the center knights out to these 4 cards here. Okay, and then I can also mirror them together. So rather than teaching, I think I'll just say the message. Okay, so he's going to go through an extreme change, and hopefully it will break apart something within his nervous system that will help him understand that his lack of compassion and his unconscious weakness. I mean, he really is a weak man. All of these men who think that they are, these bullies, they think that they're strong. Well, yeah, you might have your bestiality, whatever kind of strength, but that doesn't make you strong. It doesn't make a person strong. It makes them rigid and hateful, and then they have to get blown up inside. So his nervous system shatters to try and balance out, whatever. I know you guys are going to say he doesn't have a soul, but his soul substance. So, it won't work with him, because he's just going to wind up having a heart attack, stroke, and boom, that's it. Drooling in a corner. So with the Strength card reversed, he's weak. He's having major problems just being upright. He's exhausted. He can't manage, for us humans, all of life is a power management issue. He can't handle that. So he's acting from his unconsciousness, his psychological problems, his predatory narcissism weakness. And so therefore, his energy isn't flowing correctly, and he's weak. He's exhausted. And in the house of the High Priestess, this is secrets coming out about that, because he's not, the High Priestess is normally our house to, I said I wasn't going to teach, but damn it. Normally our house to connect with our higher selves. He does not do that, okay? So it's like double weakness, and the secrets coming out about that. Connecting over here to the Six of Pentacles reversed, I think I already explained that. Lovers is just decisions and relationships and going back and forth. Well, a lot of people going back and forth, and people in positions of power, which is all he cares about. He doesn't think that us Americans have any power at all. But yeah, remember, dude, what happened during the No King's Day protest? And then you felt it was necessary to go and tear down the East Wing. So the same thing, and this card is knighting to these two cards here, and then to the center card. So the Six of Pentacles reversed really is a problem for him, because this is people who had previously donated, you know, and of course it was, you know, all the big tech oligarchs, tech bros, the broligarchs, all that for AI, because they wanted AI deregulation, and so they donated for the ballroom. And there may be some like, nope, we're not doing that, we're changing our minds there. Because, you know, maybe there's, I don't know, you never know, but it's possible. So I just have to throw that out there. I kind of doubt it, but I have to throw it out there. Like, my rational brain doesn't want to believe it, but the cards are saying, it's possible. But whatever it is, relationships are not going to give him the money that he wants, okay? But the light is going to shine on the fact that he's a traitor. So I don't know what is going to be coming out this week. And it may have something to do with monies that were already taken, and he's very disappointed about that. Oh, goodness. He's going to go through an ego death in relationship with, it now very well could be Elon Musk, with the King of Cups reversed here. You know what? And it also could just be that he's closer to actual death because he's got a bad doctor or several doctors who don't care about him anymore. And it's possible that doctors and nurses, and it's possible because they keep telling him you can't keep eating greasy food from McDonald's, and you can go hang out in Mar-a-Lago all you want and get whatever food you want fried for you there, but it's pushing you closer to your death. And so they just kind of throw their hands up in the air, and so they just stop giving him any advice at all. But this is also, besides ego death, it could just be a death because of all his addictions. And of course the addictions are to the diet and of course the drugs. He is a drug addict. Okay? He's snorted he used to snort coke. Remember the Studio 54 days? Just track that guy's movements in his life. And if you haven't ever watched Noel Casler, he's a comedian and a musician. He was he has his own YouTube channel. You'd have to go back and watch his most early videos, but yeah, he's the one that spilled the beans on Trump's Adderall addiction. That had to snort Adderall to get him to focus and calm down, and then he would shit his pants, and so that's why, you know, the diapers and all that he used to wear. He's the first guy that said, yeah, dude wears diapers. And then he named, I can't remember who's the guy that used to have to help him change his diapers. God, clean him up. He couldn't clean his own. Oh my God. Ugh. Anyway, this is all here and here. And temperance being the house of, you know, you gotta balance out your what you take in and what you allow to go in and out, and he doesn't. So this is why, you know, here he is with that gray villainous. Here's the temperance card, but in the temperance house we have another card of addictions. He may have tumors in his stomach. Again, addictions, yeah, and addictions here. He might be drinking, even though I know he always says he doesn't. He might be even drinking a little bit there. It's gone to a different form of addiction, because, you know, the devil is our house of addiction. It's our card, our major arcana card of addiction. Bondage, blind spots, attachments, all of that. And what's this cup about? Right? So, So there's that. Okay, now this, I want to focus in on this one here. So with the moon reversed, we do have a lot of majors here. The moon reversed, no matter where it might land, it has everything to do with a person's paranoia. On the levels of health, it's the lymphatic system, another card of addictions when it's reversed, cancers, sleep issues, problems with his feet. And then in the House of Star, this has to do with, he doesn't have a spiritual connection, and he doesn't really have faith in the universe at all. So I have to just go with there's no renewal at night because he's not sleeping, and just look at the star card as being somebody that's feeling under the weather and possibly having seizures or at least spasms, because the lymphatic system is like, and that is further reiterated. It's further connected up to the Eight of Cups, because the Eight of Cups is our Saturn and Pisces card, and again, constriction of the lymphatic system for his male parts, all of his male parts, because it's in the house of Emperor, and also the Emperor, because it is our Aries card. Everything in his head, is just blocked, and he might want to run away and get away, but I don't think he can. And then here we have with the Hierophant card, the Three of Swords, and within the Hierophant, he is betrayed and rejected even by Scrotus. Scrotus is going to, I think, if it's not Scrotus, then it's some other, well, you know what else it could be? Because the Hierophant is my Scrotus card, Supreme Court of the United States, but I put the R in there because they're a bunch of bastards. The men are anyway. But with the Three of Swords in there, so the Hierophant can also be the religious, I wouldn't say extreme, doesn't have to be. It has to do with a person's belief system primarily. But with the Three of Swords there's rejection of his belief system, and his support is what I'm trying to say, his support of the church. So I'm thinking that Pope Leo has something to say about what this man is doing. This poor excuse for a man, this tyrant, this toddler throwing tantrums. So, okay, so that's not good. Movement as far as to be able to get what he wants with the Wheel of Fortune here, and that movement of making choices. But he's creating his own destiny by messing around with ice and with the Chariot, house up here. And that things aren't working out, and you can't go around shooting women in the face. And I keep wondering, what happened to the dog? There was a dog there, I mean, my God. It's just the whole thing is just so ridiculously sad. So he's isolated and wanting to escape, but he can't get out of the prison of his own body. And he's full of poisons and toxins, and his addictions and tumors are in his body. I think his stomach is just like eating him alive. Think of like putrefaction, and the acids can't clear out because he's constantly getting angry and blowing his top, and then the bile is just, going everywhere. I mean, yeah. So, but I'm not seeing heart surgery there just because of where it landed. I think it's more, there's the buildup. And heart problems because of his addiction to Mickey D's that he constantly surrenders to. And then, of course, with the Hanged Man reversed here. This is like he's drowning in his own poisons. This whole half over here is about, well, except for a couple of cards, drowning in his own poisons and his really his awful health that has come full circle. And everything in the mushroom field is not working either. And then with the judgment card, I'm sorry, the Five of Swords being in the house of judgment. So judgment can sometimes be about, we didn't have the judgment card come through, but it can sometimes, when it's reversed, it can be about, like a sudden problem with illness. But that for me, when I see the judgment card, I just think of him like going through a hell realm in his own body. And with the Five of Swords reversed, now this is interesting. He's going to have to compromise somehow. Upright, this card has just tons of negative meaning. But this is what he's been doing. This is pretty much like him. Check out the hair, right? When he used to have it. But when it's upright, this is somebody who's the bullying, criming, creep. When it's reversed, it could be his own funeral is coming soon because it's in the house of judgment. And the judgment is literally, when it comes to somebody like him with his grave illness and his insanity and dementia and paranoia, this could be a really bad card for him. And at some point he will attend his own funeral, that's for damn sure. But for now, because I don't have the Death card and the Ten of Swords, or even the Four of Swords or Eight of Swords, I have to say this week to me, based on this card, I think he's going to be reclusive, unless there's another funeral that he goes to. I hope this isn't Joe Biden. And, I really hope that it's not that. Yeah. I want to see him make it to his 84th birthday, to where Joe Biden, to where he has that Uranus return, which is the wonderful opening. But, we have to trust his spirit, and his connection to Source has they have their own connection. But bottom line, this is a taco card. The Five of Swords or the Five of Wands reversed, those are both taco cards. Trump always chickening out. And there's nothing he can do. They really do go well. These cards do go well together, looking at all of his disappointment. And, he wanted the handout, and doctors aren't helping him, but he's also not getting what he wanted from the oil company heads. Right. So, yeah. Okay, over here. Now I'm drawn over here. So the Fool, trying to get a new start, he can't go anywhere because he's isolated, being in the house of Hermit. And pretty much it's because of all his choices with ice. I just have to read the Chariot as ice. I can't think of anything else other than just him traveling around, getting around, like in the Beast. This could be his vehicle, right? Could be that. Maybe it's a wambulance, and he winds up in a wambulance, and then it would be like the Wheel of Fortune reverse, where he doesn't have any choice. Everything has conspired against him, right? And he's stuck, in that vicious circle. Now this is interesting. In the house of strength, so we have strength reversed, but in the house of strength we have the Nine of Wands reversed, and this is a stroking out card. So he doesn't have strength. He's got a stroke building, and also another one of the paranoid cards. And so we have. So he's probably defensive and pushing people away, even though they might be trying to hurt him or help him, but he hurts himself by isolating and being nasty to people. And so no wonder doctors wouldn't want to help him, right? And then, especially the ones that could administer drugs to make him feel better, like what? Maybe they just give him the wrong medicine. Oops, you know? And then, oops, where are you going? Oh, into this paranoid realm. Because that's what the Eight of Wands is all about. They're just, defensive and stubborn, and then they alienate other people with his, or people like him, with his dementia. So, now, here's the other good one. So what we're missing are these cards, Knighting Together, and the Tower, to the Tower, okay? But also, these two cards, Knighting Together. So, let's start down here. Because the Tower is knighting the Three of Wands in the House of Tower, we've got a double whammy of him looking for something. This would be his, for sure, what's going to happen to him this week, I could say. And probably anybody with a good sense of, reason could figure it out. That he's not going to get help from oil companies in Venezuela. Therefore, it's like I always thought from the get-go, it's more about the minerals. He says it's about the oil tankers and the oil, and we're going to, all of that. But I've always thought it was the rare earth minerals and the deal he had with Putin. I think this is all just a big deal with Putin. And maybe that information will come out. And maybe that is the reason we have the Knight of Swords in the House of Empress, because Empress would be the Putin house, the Russian house. But Empress would also be the house for, women and having any kind of pleasure and comfort and unity. No, he doesn't get that because he's just a bastard that rushes in and doesn't even think. He just goes right in. And this is his connection with getting into Venezuela, and then he's left on his head. They don't want to refine oil. They don't want to turn the oil into, they just don't want to do it. It's not feasible. That word, uninvestable. So there's that. Yeah, I think I've tied them all together. I can't think of anything else other than, if we're looking at just health, here we have another stroke card right here, this Three of Wands. And the Strength card reversed is pretty strong when it comes to health. And these two right here, that's, wow. So, okay, so in summary, I would say, number one, he's not going to get what he wants from the oil companies. Number two, he has the possibility, he's like a stroke waiting to happen. He's a heart attack waiting to happen. The DOJ is not going to be able to, Pam Bondi is not going to be able to give him what he wants because Americans are so angry with him. And he is known primarily as the Fool on the Hill, right? Just like the Beatles, Fool on the Hill. And he's going to be more and more isolated all week long. And again, just he needs to feel his pain and sadness, but he never will, I don't think, in this lifetime, because he numbs out with drugs. And doctors are not going to give him what he needs or what he wants. So, yeah. And he's living within the putrefaction of his own body. He's trapped in his own body. As we all are. So you better be good to your body. Okay, I'm done. Take good care, you guys. Bye.